Hi, and welcome to another podcast with your host, Miriam at Raise Your Vibes. It's been a while, life has been busy, so I have not had the opportunity to get a podcast recorded. But guys, such is life. Sometimes we have to take a bit of a back burner to focus on different projects, different things, and there's a lot coming up in the pipeline. So be aware, I will be updating you with that in some other podcasts soon. But thank you for coming in and tuning in. Today's podcast is all about not placing limits on yourself, okay? Because when we do that, we have this understanding or condition or contract that we make with ourselves, and we restrict ourselves in ways that we don't realize. So what do I mean by this? This can mean lots and lots of different things to different people. So let's just break it down. When we're young, teenage stage, childhood stage, you should know me by now. I like to reflect. I like to put it into perspective and look at the different milestones that we all go through in our different lives. But these particular stages that we have as a kid, as a teenager, you know what? You don't realize it. They mold you. They make you. They break you. They can also make you do a U-turn, because that's when you decide things you can do, things you are capable of doing. I'm a teacher right now, amongst my various other things, and I see so many students sometimes lacking the courage, lacking the tenacity, lacking the spirit, lacking the drive, lacking the self-confidence and enthusiasm to go and do something that they're more than capable of doing and achieving and succeeding in. It could be a sport, it could be something in art, it could be in a topic that they've been taught across the curriculum. But at that young age, and it could be even younger, we place limits on ourselves. And we say to ourselves, I'm never going to be good enough to play this team sport. I'm never going to be good enough to even try. Why should I even bother participating? What's the point? You might have someone where you're feeling quite competitive, and you're looking at this particular person who's absolutely freaking amazing, but you're thinking to yourself, wow, I can't even compare. I can't even come close. So why should I even try? Why should I even put in the effort? I'll just sit on the bench and chill out, and I'll just watch, rather than participate. There are some of us like that, and we're very much spectators, and you'll know that with that analogy, we continue with that, not just in our childhood, okay, but it has ramifications later on in our adulthood. Also, then there's people around us, and this is similar to adult life. You can think about this from that young age as well, where maybe you want to go and play. You say to someone when you're young, I want to be a football player for Liverpool, yeah? My year 7 students, bless them, they are obsessed with Mohamed Salah, the very famous Egyptian footballer, that happens to play for Liverpool. I've got Leeds in my head because that's where I live. But he plays for Liverpool. And they're obsessed with him, absolutely obsessed with him. And it's their dream and their passion to be him. Now, some of them might not end up being, on a football team like Liverpool, right? But the point is, they may be on another team. They may be somewhere else in a different championship. And it's that self-belief within yourself that, yes, I am going to do this. Yes, I am going to achieve that. Yes, I am going to go and do that goal. What happens, though, sometimes as you grow into adulthood, you know yourself, those of you that are listening in, when we go through that stage of like childhood, not fantasy, but dreams, and we're trying to make them into reality steps in. We have bills to pay, mortgages to pay, debts to pay off. We might be working 9 till 5 jobs. Some of us maybe we're like literally busting our ass to make crumbs, as people call it, to put food on the table, to work, to feed our kids, to feed our loved ones, or to feed ourselves. Sometimes our dream goes on a back burner. Sometimes we put a limit on it. And we put it on there because we have to be realistic. We have to be realistic. At the time, those dreams aren't going to come true because other aspects of our life have to take over. We have responsibilities. We have duties. We have things that we need to do society-wise. And sometimes it's not always easy to do that because of the different pressures we're on. But on the sideline, yes, we have those dreams and we can try to make them come true. You might be playing in a local football club as an adult. You might be playing as part of a team. Someone might, come up and approach you and select you and so on. You know, that's just one analogy. Where we go wrong in our adult life is where we put limits on ourselves. You know, we say to ourselves, no, I'm not going to do this, it's too dangerous. No, I'm not going to do this because it costs too much. No, I'm not going to do this because of time. You will sit back and you will think of 1,000 billion excuses. I've said them myself. I'm guilty of that myself. But there are times when I prioritize as well, and I've put things to the top of my list, not to the bottom. And I am very much a hustler. I am someone that's a goal trend setter. I am someone that will be hustling and doing side moves that people don't see coming. And I plant seeds and I have them growing. Okay? And there are times when I have to weed things out too. But I will put that time in because that time is for me. That's my self-care. That's my self-program. That's my particular issue with what I'm doing right now. And it's important to me. That's the first thing. It is important. So I don't put that limit on myself. I push and push and push. Almost like you're a boxer in a ring. You're pushing, pushing, pushing. No matter how many knockouts you've had, no matter how many times you've been, told to go and stand in the corner, the bell's rung. And even though your face is perhaps, bloody, whatever, you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. Because once you stop, then yes, you're putting limits on yourself, and then you're restricting yourself from achieving the best of what you can do. Some of us put limits on our, travel. We put limits on our relationships. We put limits on the friendships that we have in our life. And that's quite rightly so. If those things are not in balance with you, if you've got someone toxic, someone negative and so on, being a part of your life, yes, put that person to the side, step to the curb. But if you've got really good friendships, honourable friendships, beautiful friendships, friendships that are balanced, friendships that support you to grow, keep them in your life. Put time aside to encourage that love and bonding and those close-knitted friendships because you need them. You need them to help you with part of your dreams. You need them to help you grow. You need them to help you be wise and to be safe. And you need them because that person needs you. You need that balance within yourself, And also, sometimes you might not have a physical family in regards to blood, but you might have a soul tribe. I definitely have a soul tribe, an international one at that. And I'm blessed and I'm thankful and I'm grateful. And I'm always grateful for the interconnections that I have in the meantime too. So when I don't put limits on myself, I allow myself to intermingle. I allow myself to meet people from different faiths, different nationalities, different cultures. And I have to do that. I have to put myself in the deep end in order to do that. I'm not putting goals aside and thinking, oh yeah, this is going to turn into this friendship, because you can't. But what I do instead is think, I'm limitless. I don't have a hold on myself. I'm limitless. And whatever I set my mind to, even if I come across hurdles, even if I come across things that are going to be challenging for me, difficult for me, this is what I'm going to do to overcome them. And I will keep battling on, whether it's me being a Taurus and a stubborn bull or a stubborn ass, as some of my friends say. But you know what? It's that stubborn ass mentality that drives you forward, that helps you to persevere and helps you to gain perspective and momentum in things that you're meant to do. So don't think to yourself that, I'm putting limits on myself and I'm just going to keep myself sheltered. No. Go out there, achieve your best, do your best, because that's what champions are made of. Champions are not made of just sitting on the bench and watching. Yes, we can learn a lot from that. We can pick up skills, we can pick up techniques, we can pick up so many different qualities, but the best one is the experience. That's when you are physically in the driving seat and you are in charge of your own destiny. So whichever phase of life you're at, whichever phase of different aspects of your life you're at, don't put limits on yourself, because when you do, you're not allowing yourself to fully be you. You're not fully allowing yourself to embrace the endless possibilities that are out there. That's all for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to hear from you all next time. Bye-bye for now. This has been Miriam Khan at Raise Your Vibes.